We're talking with annuity expert and certified financial fiduciary, Miss Elise Roberts. She's also the featured expert in A Journey to Financial Security. Today, I'm talking to her about how do you look at annuities in terms of balancing growth and protection. Elise, everybody's looking for their cake and eating it too. We want to make all the money, but we also don't want to lose any money. Tell me how an annuity plays into that. Maybe you can recap a little bit about the three different types of annuities and the one that can do what we're talking about.
So there are three types, as you said. There's the fixed annuity, then there's the variable annuity. The fixed is like a CD. You get a rate, that's all you get. When it's over, it's over. It's pretty simple. Variable is very complicated, very costly, and risky. So variable is what it says. It can go up, it can go down, and there's more cost and opportunity to lose your money, but there's more cost in a variable annuity than any financial program ever. Even any outside of annuities. So it's 3 to 6% is the average cost. It's crazy. So you take those two, you got the best of both worlds here. Well, you got your fixed annuity, which is the safest. You got your variable, that's the riskiest. The best of both worlds is the third one. It's in the middle. You have the fixed indexed annuity. You have a fixed account you can kind of treat like a CD. And then you have the variable part, which is the indexing, so fixed indexed, but you're not actually in the market. So the index you follow, so when the market goes down, you don't lose your money. So that bridges those two annuities together. And in 1994, they came out with the fixed indexed. So they've been around a long time. They've evolved tremendously. And the way to make money in a fixed indexed annuity has totally changed. You can take the fixed account, you can follow the market, but now they have all these features that we've been talking about. The rate lock, the getting more money out, every year if you wanted extra.
Multi-year point-to-point stuff.
Just crazy. And there's so much to help someone understand, but the way you make money is each year you get to make that decision. And if someone says, I want to guarantee this year that I can get that amount, then take the fixed account.
And what's interesting though, Elise, we were talking about this off camera. The variable annuity, you got all those fees, right? The fixed annuity, it's kind of simple. You can almost kind of do it yourself, right? But these fixed index, where the best of both worlds come together, they're complicated. The complicated stuff is good, but it's complicated.
But it's complicated and you really can't do it alone. And that is why the companies don't really allow the public to go directly to an insurance company and get a fixed indexed annuity or a variable. You cannot. You have to go through an advisor, an agent. And so that's where we come in. But if you think just any advisor can do an annuity, it's not true. I tried years ago to do everything. I was doing the full financial planning. I was trying to get the annuities going and be a part of that. And I realized I wasn't helping anyone. I needed to pick a side, and that's what I did. I choose the safe side of your retirement money. I'm not going to lose your money. I'm not going to charge you fees. I'm going to show you how to grow your money and live on it for the rest of your life. And then also have other money. You should have other advisors and other accounts. I believe in that.
You took the words out of my mouth again, Elise, but that's what I was going to say. You're not advocating for people to only use you and put 100% of their money in a fixed index annuity.
Never.
But you are saying, in some ways, almost everybody maybe should at least look at these fixed index annuities. And most people, maybe for a part of their money, it might make sense.
It does usually, unless they're not suitable, which is that first level of my fiduciary responsibility is to make sure that you don't get in one if you shouldn't be in one. And that is the first level. There's 3 levels. I don't know if you want me to get into
Actually, if you don't mind, because we've talked before a little bit about one of the problems with annuities being that people will put somebody into an annuity and then you'll never hear from them, right? And it's not a requirement for them to service it.
That's the saddest thing about the requirement for the advisor or agent with an annuity is they have no responsibility by law to do anything for that client once they have the money in the annuity. Shame on them. Shame on the states that allow that, and they all do. It's part of their training. And when I saw that years ago on my training, I said, who would do that? Who would not do the work? And that is why that happens.
And you can tell that you love this. So I'm sure that's part of the reason why you service your clients so well. I mean, in some ways, your husband must tell you, shut up about annuities already, right?
The time. No, I'm kidding.
But no, you can
He's
tell
in
that.
the business, so it's good.
So it's good. You guys have things to share about that, right? But you can tell you love it. On top of that, though, you've got an extra step above just being an agent because you want to continue to service your clients.
So what I've done is there's 3 levels of the fiduciary responsibility of an advisor agent to the client. The first level is that suitability. You have to make sure that you do the suitability to make sure they should be in that one or is that a right fit financially? That's that suitability. By age, by financials, that is something we have to do because the insurance company is counting on us to bring them business that's qualified to be there. Okay? The second level is the government came out with a few years ago. They've put it in, they've taken it out. It's called the best interest. Okay. So it's saying that we're all responsible to do what's in the best interest of the client, which is how I was raised. So I don't understand why that's, I'm
like, that just seems obvious, right?
No. So I've taken it a step further this year, and I found this, it just came out a year ago or so, but there was a new certification that you can actually get. And it's the Certified Financial Fiduciary, which takes you on the 3rd level, which is above and beyond the law.
Okay.
It's above and beyond suitability.
So you're above the law now.
Yeah, something like that, right. So don't shoot the sheriff. Yeah. Right? So the suitability is the 1st level. The best interest is the law, which is the 2nd level. And what I've done is when I'm taking this course, I was sharing this at another episode, but I was doing this course and I was realizing that's what I do. Yeah. I loved that. I was like, I already do all this. I don't really need the certificate, but you know what? They're going to give me a certificate for what I've been doing for 37 years.
Now you can hold it like a badge.
That's right. It actually comes with a badge, but whatever. So, and that's called best practice.
Okay. So best practice, best interest,
and then the bottom is suitability.
We only have we got less than a minute.
We got really
Time flies when we're talking here. I got to ask you one quick question though, because this fixed index, I can't lose money, right?
Correct.
But I get to make money based off of the index. Sounds too good to be true, but tell me what the real expectations of growth should be.
Oh, real expectations of growth? Here's what I always tell everyone. If you want peace of mind, you want a reasonable return, and you want me to keep it as simple as I can for you and help you through the process, and you don't want to lose your money, then this might be a fit. But what I call a reasonable return is I always say, are you okay with 4 to 7% over time, as long as you can't lose your money and you don't pay fees? And if someone says, well, yeah, in an account like that, well, they've done 5 to 9, right. But I always say 4 to 7. And the reason I do that is I'm not going to overpromise, but I will over-deliver.
So what you're saying is this isn't the right fit for the person chasing that crazy stock market, but if you have looking for a reasonable return without
and
risk.
that's some of your money. So the guys, my clients, a lot of them are crazy stock market guys, and they love that. But this is the part they come to me for that peace of mind. So they still do both.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking for peace of mind, reasonable growth, no risk, no fees, something that can outpace inflation. You gotta give Elise and her team a call. At least look at your options. 888-526-4184. Go to their website, theannuityshow.com, or simply scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen.